Okay, well then let's talk about something that does in fact raise glucose levels, spikes them in many cases, is a Chipotle burrito. First thing that you think of when you think Chipotle burrito, go.
It's not what it once was. When this popped off, let me age myself. It popped off for me when I was in college, right? So this is the early 2000s or so. And when Chipotle burrito for us back then was, yo, let's spend some money that we don't have because it was relatively expensive compared to ramen or some other thing on this massive burrito. The Chipotle burrito used to be a behemoth, like 2 meals at least, three if you're somebody else. Um, and then now it's become more economical. So when you say Chipotle burrito, the first thing that comes to mind is it's not what it once was.
Completely agree with you there. It's not what it once was, and it kind of goes in spikes and like peaks and valleys, but it's trending down since that those early 2000s. Man, when it came out, it was the best. It was the
Yes.
best ingredients, and it was packed in, and everyone who worked there knew exactly how to roll them.
Yes.
And man, it was just so good. And then now it's whatever. It's just whatever. But let me ask you this, because I think you'll be surprised. What is the value of Chipotle Mexican Grill Incorporated?
700 million.
700 million is your guess. The answer is 100 times bigger than that.
Jeez, the price is
A
wrong, Chris.
hundred times bigger than that. $79 billion is the enterprise value of Chipotle.
Bro, bro, if you're gonna get a franchise, forget the other places. Like you need to get you a Chipotle. Do they franchise out? They do they? I don't
I
I
don't
don't know
know.
why you I don't know why I'm asking you like you know or something like you're some kind of restaurant fast food
I
franchise
wish I knew more
expert.
about franchising. Does Chipotle?
That's a
I'm gonna
lot of
guess no.
money, bro.
$80 billion. Yeah, unfortunately, can't own a Chipotle franchise. All Chipotles are owned and operated by the company, which is maybe one of the reasons
Yeah,
they're so
yeah.
valuable. Now they're up there in terms of value. Like McDonald's is, if I remember correctly, only maybe twice the size of Chipotle at this point. McDonald's market cap.
Shout out to the Chipotle leadership team. That is impressive, man. All selling cheap
Yeah, McDonald's
ingredients.
is only 195.
Boy.
So it's only double. It's only double what Chipotle is. So very impressive by Chipotle, which is why I wanted to talk about it, because you don't get to be a restaurant that A makes a profit in the first place, B is around for over 20 years, and C is worth nearly $100 billion, only half the market cap. I mean, is half the market cap of McDonald's. Super impressive. So it's the marketing probably has a lot to do with it, in addition to their strategy and all that. But I want to talk about their marketing. So before I read the newest thing that they're doing, has any of their marketing stood out to you at all?
No, I think it's kind of stale, right? They're trying to play off of that. We have real ingredients and we're using real people, and it's kind of like at least it's not as scripted as their competitors, but it's not the best branding in my opinion. It doesn't entertain, it doesn't make me laugh, doesn't make me mad, doesn't I get no emotion from their commercials.
So the latest thing that they came out with is an interactive game, an app called Burrito Vault, where they just doled out over $1 million in free burritos for National Burrito Day, which was yesterday, April 4th. So there were people played this game, got to guess the combination, whatever, whatever. But this is just another example in their long list of creative advertising, which apparently has not worked on you. But we're talking about dress in tinfoil on Halloween and get a free burrito. And the line's out the door, and you're like, you forgot it's Halloween. You're just like a regular person. There's like, what? And you're just trying to get lunch. I just want to pay for my burrito and get out of
Right.
here. But that was a big deal for people in high school and college who now probably still have an affinity to Chipotle because of that.
Yeah, I mean, they evidently have marketing campaigns that work. They haven't worked on me, so maybe I'm not their target demographic. But I'm not gonna. That stuff never really worked on me. That whole do this and get a free burger or free that. It's just waste my time. But if I'm in college and I have time, and a burrito back then, and I'm sure today, if you don't have a lot of money in college, is expensive. So if you need to dress up in a tin hat and do some dance for a burrito, I guess I would have, bro. I was eating freaking ramen noodles mixed with hot dog chunks, or cutting up the hot dog. That was a meal to me a few times in college. So hell yeah, I guess I would dress up for a burrito.
So, what are you eating for burritos? Where are you eating? What restaurants?
Shit, restaurant of Jenny Gray, my wife. Like, we make our own stuff, man. She's pulled me out of the whole fast food world, and like we talked about a couple episodes back, or an episode back. I will go if I have to go to a fast food place. I would go to a Chipotle, or we have Roses here in the Texas area. Um, on the what's not on the border, but Taco Cabana in the north, in the South Austin areas, like places that the ingredients at least look real, like the chicken at least looks like chicken, So I'll eat that type of stuff. But for the most part, I like making my own. We like making our own food because it just tastes better when the food is real.
Yeah, it tastes better. You know exactly what kind of oil is being
Yeah,
used. We're going to throw that into the health marketing podcast too, is the marketing of different oils. I think that would be a good one. Yeah, okay. So I mean, I think we're in agreement. Like, okay, Chipotle, go ahead and do whatever you want. It's going to work on some people, not others. Maybe not on Chris Gray, but it is certainly working. I mean,
yep.
$90 billion, very impressive. 80 million.
Hey, what do you think about this whole app thing, though? Like, do you think that's a good idea or not?
Oh yeah, anything app related is a good idea. And if they're gonna gamify, if they're gonna make this look anything remotely close to a casino game, then great. I mean, you're having people spend more time with you and on your app, and you're gonna stay top of mind. So I'm for it. I think it's a good
Yeah, I'm with
idea.
you, bro. Like you getting people to invest on your app and and interact with your brand and spend more time with your brand. And that's smart. So if people are going to start playing the Chipotle game, they're obviously going to be eating more Chipotle burritos. Um, yeah, I think it's a good idea.
Okay, let's go to our final topic, which is this. It's kind of a funny article because it sounds like complaining to me. And I'm not one for complaining in terms of marketing. I've had my share. I mean, I do my share of complaining, but when I hear it, it doesn't land well with me. So this one does feel like complaining by CMOs of big companies. But here's the article: is that according to a Wunderman Thompson Commerce and Tech report, 94% of retail CEOs, founders, and C level executives are. Well, I'm just trying to skip through some of this other stuff, but almost all of them feel like there's too many marketing channels to deal with. There's just too many channels to effectively sell their product or service. What do you think?
Sounds like a leadership problem. If you're a CEO and you're complaining about this, then you need to look at your CMO and figure out what's going on here, because there's a lot of marketing channels, but your brand, your product doesn't belong on all of them. So it's up to your CMO or you leader to figure out who your demographic is and where they're at. If you're marketing Life Alert and then you're worried about being on Snapchat and TikTok, you got a damn problem. But if you're marketing Life Alert and your CMO is like, "Hey, let's market during Wheel of Fortune," smart. Like, so if you can't figure it out and you complain that there's too many, then you got a leadership problem.
You really had me laughing out loud there. Life alert on Snapchat. I could just picture it. I could start picturing the ads. Maybe they're missing out. Okay, well let me pose it back to you. Is that I don't even think that proposition that you just said, which is your brand doesn't belong on every channel, is in the minds of CMOs. I think most CMOs of big companies believe they should be on every channel. They need to be on every channel or else they're going to get fired.
Again, it goes to a leadership problem. Then, if I'm the CEO and my CMO thinks I need to be everywhere with our brand, then I have to ask myself, then what kind of culture and what kind of expectation am I setting that my CMO is worried about getting fired because they're not on all these brands? If I'm the CEO, instead of complaining or whatever it is that's happening in this article, I'm saying, hey, CMO, figure out our demographic, figure out where they're at, and go advertise there and tell me how much it costs. Tell me what the plan is.
I think there's a little bit even more to this where they're not just talking about online media, which to your point I think is a great point. You don't need to be on Snapchat. You can just be on Facebook ads, for example. You could potentially just do that, or just Google ads, or both of those two big ones. But you don't have to be on Pinterest. You don't have to be on Snapchat. But what about radio and newspapers, magazines, brick and mortar stores, and TV? What about those?
Again, man, it's where my demographics at. So, let's just stick with the life alert. Like, yeah, they're gonna be on certain radio channels. They're gonna be on certain there's gonna be certain TV shows that you probably want to market on. You might want to be on Facebook. They're gonna be at these certain places. They're gonna and so it's okay. It goes back to, let me look at my demographic. What is their behavior online, offline, so on and so forth, TV, radio? Like, what is their behavior? And let me be there. It just comes down to knowing your demographic.